If you're like me, I like to have control in my life. In fact, now we might have to discuss that for a few minutes here. That most of us, when we deal with life and when we deal with the issues of our lives, we want to be the movers. We really don't want others moving us. You see, and because the issue of control has a lot to do with fear. Whenever I'm in control, I'm not as nervous and I'm not as fearful. Oh God, this is going to be interesting. You don't mind going 100 miles an hour in a car as long as you're driving. Amen. Because most of us are more comfortable when we are in and have an element of control. And if you notice now, the man is a reformer, and obviously he's moving things the way he believes God would have him to do it. And in order to do that, he has to exercise control. In our relationships, we're not very afraid of a relationship if we are in control. And that's why, how many folk are single here? That's why we're single, because we have not yet been able to have the kind of control that we want. None of us that's in the pastoring business or working on a job or doing anything in family, human beings are more comfortable when they are in control. But every now and then, no matter how wonderful you are, and it certainly is not an affront to your salvation and to your holiness, but every now and then things get out of control. And immediately now, all the faith that we had in our comfort zone is being tested, not by our power to reform, but now our faith becomes tested when we are totally outside of our ability to control. When I'm losing control of my emotions, I'm losing control of my finances, I'm losing control of this relationship, I'm losing control of this business. And now it becomes even more difficult because on the one hand, I'm doing the will of God, I'm reforming, I'm changing, I'm working. And why should I, with God on my side, end up in a situation where I am out of control, something I can't put my hand on? I don't know, have you been there? But I've been there, just emotionally wrecked because of something I had no control over. And if I had had the control over it, I wouldn't be feeling the pain of something out of control that you, and when it's out of control and it's a battle you can't afford to lose. I mean, I don't know, there's some things in my life that aren't as critical as others. And if I try to put things in place and hold it where it ought to be, but it slips out of control, if it's something that, let it go, I can get another one of those. But sometimes it's something that is life and death. It is something now that if I lose control of this battle, and if I lose this next battle, this emotional battle, this spiritual battle, this psychological battle, I am on the edge, and there's some things I cannot afford to lose. I gotta have help because I can't afford to give this up. When you talk about what he's facing here, somebody comes along on a good day, everything's happening okay, and somebody just simply says, there's a multitude that's outside. We've got a multitude coming against you. The Ammonites, the Moabites, the children of the east, and they're even coming from beyond Syria. Now sometimes we don't mind enemies we know, because you know we know the limit and their ability. But when you got to deal with an enemy you don't know, I I feel it. Can I, I'm on vacation. All right. So sometimes, so we just have a little talk here. Sometimes we stay in circumstances that are horrific for us, but we stay because we know this danger. We know this devil. We know this character, and we become very comfortable with being uncomfortable with the character that we know, because we still have a measure of control even though we're in a horrible situation. And the control is, I know this. I know this. And even though there are awful times, I can still navigate through here because I know this. But now, Jehoshaphat, here's an enemy coming that none of us know. And what we've got here is a great multitude, and immediately now he's caught between his faith and fear. Because no matter how you've been standing, and no matter how you've been praising God, and I know you might be on an upswing tonight, but just don't get too happy with the upswing and forget that there is a message that can come in a day, and all of a sudden your life spins out of control. And everybody in here has been between faith and fear. Oh, I feel it here. Do I have a little time? You see, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And what I'm expected to do in the middle of what I see is have hope in God that he is able to offset what I see. So my faith has an object, and my fear has an object. The object is the great multitude that he's faced with. That is the object that stimulates fear. But on the same hand, my faith in God is based on who he is. And now, what am I going to do? Since I'm shaking here, I'm either going to believe God by faith, or I'm going to believe that the enemy is greater than the God I serve. Whenever you are bombarded with anything that's out of your control, you're either going to cower and give up, or you're going to believe the God that you serve. Oh, I feel it here. Can I take my time? I'm just there's no other way, please. And let me tell you this: if you have never had a test that caused you to shake in your boots, then you will never grow to be any bigger than you are right now. Oh, you need a test that is so powerful it says to you, if God does not bring me out, I can't come out of this. Oh, I feel it here. On the other hand, my faith, because now I'm dealing with something I don't see. I wish you could understand me. On the one hand, I can count, I can see, I know their military strength, and I know I don't have the capacity to handle it. So now I've got to rely on something I can't see. I got to rely on someone I cannot see. I've got David here, and I've got Goliath. I can look and tell that there is absolutely no way for David to beat this man Goliath. Somebody's got to rely on somebody they don't see. And that's the power of faith. When I can look at my circumstance, look at my situation, feel it shaking me in my perceptive boots, but something on the inside of my spirit says, if I can't handle it, I know somebody who can. Oh, I feel God here. I feel like having church in here tonight. Oh, God. Can you understand now? Because now the reformer is dealing with people who have military ideas and strength. They've been fighting all the time. And now the dependence now is upon the God we serve. The powerful thing with Jehoshaphat was he had a background. He had some word in him. Because when you're facing insurmountable odds, God isn't going to change the odds against you. God's going to give you a word. Oh yes, I just need a word. He's not going to try to make you feel comfortable. No, he's expanding your faith. He's expanding your base. So he's stretching you out to the very limit. Somebody in here tonight that's going through something, God told me to tell you, I'm just stretching you out. Oh God, I got to make you wider. You got to move from being so narrow and move into what I want. And that's why it's so formidable. That's why it's the kind of quick prayer is not going to get this. What you're up against, you got to reach for all the word you have had. You got to reach for everything God deposited because he knew your storm was coming. He had to give you something to put your anchors in, because this next move of God is a place where you have to be anchored, because the deeper your anchor, the higher. Feel God in this place. It triggered him psychologically, but it ends up moving him spiritually, because he psychologically he sees what's against him through his perceptive ability to know what he's up against. And he's not like some of us who walk around and say, don't claim it. Come on, the enemy's out there. Don't claim it. Can I preach like I feel it? I'm on vacation. Here's a man, the missionary lady, you know, she went to visit the young sister who was sick, and the young sister was just burning up with fever, just sick as she could be. And she walked in the room and said, oh darling, how you doing? Oh mother, I'm just hurting so bad. It's really bad here. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. The mother said, come on honey, the devil is alive. The devil is alive. Don't claim it. Well, the Lord helped her. She recovered. A few years, mother was sitting up in the bed just as sick as she could be, just fever everywhere. So the young lady remembered what she was told and thought it quite appropriate to venture into the sick room with this antidote for the problem. Mother, the devil is a liar. Don't claim it. Mother looked up from her sick bed and said, honey, he ain't lying this time. When you're sick, he's lying. But when I'm sick, it's the truth. I wish somebody to help me in here. It's a real problem that we shake sometimes between our faith and our trust and our fear. But it's one thing about fear, when you know who you're with, that fear pushes, devil, you're gonna fool around and push me into getting some help, because the closer I get to home, the better I'm gonna talk. We might as well have church, Patrick. The closer I feel like preaching. Can I talk to you here? I'll be scholastic tomorrow. But have you ever been in a fight as a kid, and you know you had to back up because the boys were all over you, and you know you're backing up, going home real slow. You ain't saying much because I'm going home, man. But the closer you get to home, I see your daddy standing up on the porch. What you say about me? What you want to say now? Come on with your bad self. Come on, daddy. I feel the Holy Ghost. It frightened him enough that he went to his God, because now I have to talk to God, but I know what to say to him, because I've been in church, I've been around the praying people, and I've been around some word. And Lord, I just come to ask you, is it really true what they say about you? Are you the Jehovah Jireh, the Jehovah Nisi, the Jehovah Shalom, Jehovah Makadish, Jehovah Sikanu? Are you the one that stands high and looks low? Somebody's been in a tight spot, but God told me to tell you, just compliment him. Just talk to me like you know I can do it. Just talk to me like you know that I can fix it by next week. Just talk to me so you know I can heal you in a few days. Notice what he does. He talks to God in a way, and he says, let me remind you, Lord, that this that we have, we couldn't have got it ourselves. Shake somebody's hand and say, the job, I didn't get it myself. The house, I didn't get it myself. That man I got, that woman I got, I didn't get it myself. That church, I didn't get it myself. This car I'm driving, these clothes I got on, I didn't get it myself. God, you gave it to me, and you gave it to us children. You were the one that did the deal, opened up the door and made the way. Some enemies were watching us then, and then you told us, don't wipe them out, just keep on going. Now look at what they're doing to us. Can I preach like I feel it? Shake somebody's hand like you're gonna shake it off, and say, sometimes the folk you treat the best come back at you worse than anybody. And God told you hush. God said don't open your mouth, but hold your peace. God said don't react like they are reacting. But now, Lord, they're trying to get me fired and trying to tear up my life. Is this your job or is it mine? And I heard him when he said, this is your land that they're coming to get, not our land, because we can't get it ourselves. So now, Lord, give somebody a high five and say, we watching you. We watching what you're going to do. We're looking to see how you're going to work that out. We're looking to see how you're going to move. We're looking to see what is it going to take to get you to shake up the place. Touch your neighbor. Say, is there a confirmation? Is there a word from the Lord? What just dropped in your spirit? What did God just say to you? Did God just tell you just a minute ago? It's all right. This one's on me. I got this. I feel like preaching tonight. Shake somebody's hand and say, neighbor, God said, I got this. This one is on me. You ain't got to fight. You ain't got to fight. All you got to do is do what you know how to do. And that's give me all the praise that you can give. And while you praise me, fix it. I feel like preaching in here. I feel like lifting him up. I feel like giving him glory. Gather your family. Pull them all up in the house. Get them all before the Lord. I say, I can't afford to lose not one of them. Can't afford to lose this house. Can't afford to lose a job. Can't give up my savings. Can't give up my money. You gave it to me. What you gonna do about it? Because the enemy's trying to wipe me out. But God told me to tell you, the battle's not yours. He made it God's battle. He made it God's battle. He said, this ain't mine. This is yours. And I heard the Lord say, just praise me. And fear turn to praise. Fear turn to church. Fear turn to glory. Fear turn to worship. Fear turn to lifting him up. And when they lifted him up, every time they said hallelujah, somebody died. Hallelujah. Somebody died. Glory. Somebody died. Yeah. I feel like shouting. God is walking through your enemy's camp right about now. While you're praising him, he's walking through the enemy's camp. While you're lifting him up, he's walking where the enemy is. While you're giving him glory, it's already done. It's already done. feel the Holy Ghost. Give somebody a high five. Say, they came for mine, but I'm going to get theirs. Because when the battle was over, they looked on down. Took them 3 days. Touch your neighbor, say, get ready to gather it. Get ready to get it. Well, I hope you are as excited as I am about understanding how God works things out in a frightful situation that looks like everything is against you, like you will never overcome. And God has set that up for no other reason than to bring great deliverance so he might get praise out of you that he never received before. The wonderful thing at the very end is how God switched everything. You've come to take mine, but God fixes it so I end up with yours. I hope you tune in next week again for more fresh oil.